I am Leah Kight, a senior software engineer at GE Digital, and I graduated from Southern University, majoring in computer science, class of 2015. Ms. Montgomery and I sat down in her office and we talked about my resume, which was beautiful. It was pink and Ms. Montgomery hated it, but we sat down and we talked about it. We made some changes and we set up a plan, a college plan. I know if you ever walked in, you know those plan sheets that she have that she checks off every semester and every year. And that's exactly what we did. And the first plan was get an internship. I know that you're young, but get an internship. And I sent my resume out to about 20 different places. And the first place that showed up was Baker Hughes. And so here's my career service journey. Once I sent out my resumes and Baker Hughes actually called back and said, hey, we want you to do an interview, I did my interview and I got an offer letter. I moved to Woodlands, Texas, all by myself, first time leaving home. And they wanted me to build this application, and it was in a language, a coding language that at first I did not know, but I knew that my professors taught me that you can do any coding language because we taught you that foundation here at Southern. And I coded, I built my application, and it ended up becoming really successful. I pitched out to all of our corporate leaders at Baker Hughes Oil and Gas. And then I went on to do my second semester in college, sophomore year. And that's where I figured out I have to do more. I have to be involved. I have to learn more coding languages. I need the help from career services throughout this journey. So I started attending career fairs. Ms. Montgomery started calling me to kind of do pitch outs about career services to different freshman classes. I got the opportunity to sit down with some of our corporate leaders that had already had a relationship with Southern, and we basically talked about what do you want to do in life? What are your goals, and how do you think Southern University has helped you? And from then on, I was able to kind of maneuver my way in this corporate life because I understood this professional way of doing things, and it was all because of career services. Now, I went on, did my second internship with IBM, I was actually the first intern, and that was all because of career services because they were just joining Baton Rouge and they wanted this tech stamp in Baton Rouge. And what other best place to go to than Southern University? And so they called, I did my interview again. I ended up being like the top person for a technical interview. I studied my butt off, but I actually started my first day. They lined me up with one of the companies that they did some consulting services for. I built out some of their business reporting systems. From my IBM experience, I learned that customers are the reason why we're successful. And so you don't have to do everything that the customer says, but you want to fulfill their needs. You want to make sure that they're happy so we can be happy. And also time management, more coding skills. I think from every internship I learned how to code even better. And then that kind of brought me into my senior year in college, where I worked at Blue Cross Blue Shield, just doing support systems, working on computers. And that was a humbling situation because it was no more coding. It was actually doing the physical parting of computers. And during that internship, Ms. Montgomery called and she said, hey, the GE office is building in New Orleans and they want you guys to come do a mock interview. And I was just like, all right, that sounds like a plan. And I did my interview. I talked and we talked about what GE Capital and some of their success rates, and I did a lot of studying. And that's one thing that I learned from career services. You have to study about the company before actually sitting in front of the company doing your interviews. And so I studied, and that's how I got the job, because I knew so much about GE Capital. I knew about their stocks. I knew what was making them successful. I knew what the customers liked and what they disliked about GE. And that's how I wrapped around and got the call to say, hey, Leah, we want you to come to Connecticut to do your final interview. Now, final interviews, it was a 3-step process, but I called Ms. Montgomery every step of the way, and I told her if I felt like I did something wrong, how in the second interview can we change that? Or do you think I just did not get it? And basically, she stayed there with me in the office. Everyone in the office was just like, hey, Leah, you have to do great things. And I got the offer letter, and I think I cried. My mom cried, because now I was a part of the Information Technology Leadership Program, which kind of brings me into what am I doing now? I recently just graduated from GE's Digital Technology Leadership Program, and from that 2-year rotational program, I was able to learn determination, resilience, how to actually make changes in an uncertain world and to be successful in an uncertain world. Communicate to all of our executives while communicating to just employees about what changes that you want to make or what initiatives and strategies that you're thinking, because when they bring you into this program, they want you to make changes. That's your goal. If you see something is going more of a traditional way and there's a new way to do it, you need to speak up. You need to say, hey, we might need to pivot, because for us to be successful, we need to kind of follow what's going on in this new era. And that's exactly what I did. I stayed true to let's make changes. Let me communicate. I don't want to be known as a person that just sat back and let things just follow, but let me come in and put my fist down and say, hey, if we want to be successful, or if we want to do things the right way and the way that the world is going right now, we got to change our thinking. And that was all SU. That was all Southern University helping me with that one. That was all career services. And I graduated first to get a job out of my entire class. I got the call first. And I became the senior software engineer in Cincinnati, Ohio for GE Digital. And it was all because of career services. It was all because of GE's Digital Technology Leadership Program. And it was because I understood that I wanted to be successful. I have to do things, even if I don't want to do it, even if there's a party going on, I have to do great things. And I have to work, and hard work gets great work. And I just owe it all to SU's career service. Now, why should you guys walk into Ms. Montgomery's office or walk into the career service office? It's because when you graduate, I want you to be just like me, or I want you to be better than me. I want you to graduate with much more offers than what I graduated with, because I graduated with about over, I would say, 10 offers. So I want you to graduate with over 30 offers. And you know how you're going to do that? You're going to keep going to career services. You're going to keep getting your resume changed, and you're going to understand that to be great, you have to put in that work, but also you have to understand that Southern University builds this foundation that's like no other. Career services, to me, and probably it should be for you guys, is one of the best places on campus, because if you want to obtain that great job, you need to go through the career service. I don't think there's no other way than through career services. And it's because they teach you how to be professional. Number 2, you go through so many different mock interviews and resume trainings that you kind of come up with that perfect resume, and that's, companies love a really great resume. And 3, you understand corporate life. You understand that there will be obstacles because you came from an HBCU. You understand that you have to work two times harder. And finally, you understand that the foundation that SU built will help you through any obstacle. That career journey, that time where you didn't know what to say to that executive, you're gonna look back at what Ms. Montgomery said to you and just told you to just stand up straight and just be yourself, because companies love a genuine person. And that's what you get from that career service office. You get everything you need. You get all the tools to be successful from career services. And I leave you with a note. When you walk in that office, you leave the plane behind. You walk in and every time you walk in, you should say, I'm about to leave this place greater than I came in here, because you really are. I think there were times where I would leave the office and my shoulders would be back and my head would be held high, and it was all because of that office.